Hello and welcome to the sixth episode of Fresh Off the Reel. My name is Lib.
Pat, I'm in a haunted house.
Oh no, Pat. How'd you get in there?
I walked on my neighbor's lawn and the house ate me.
Ah, man, I
It was,
should I should get an
it
Oscar.
was, it was terrifying. I'm dead.
Oh no, but it's okay. You'll just crawl out of the hole when the house blows up.
Oh, perfect. Okay. This week we're talking about Monster House.
Yeah. If it wasn't blatantly obvious, this week we're talking about Monster House, which is my favorite childhood movie of all time.
And a movie I watched for the first time a week ago.
Yeah, Pat's
So
never seen it.
we have very different opinions on this movie based on our experience with it. And fun fact, I polled my friends, and apparently I'm the only human being on this planet who didn't grow up watching this movie.
Yeah, we were playing a game a while ago with a few friends and everyone yelled at him. It was hilarious.
I'm the only one who would have guessed. When you
Um
guys watch high art films like Cool Cat Saves the Kids, I'll be there. Because that's what I watch. But anyway, Derek Savage, please don't sue.
I don't think I don't think he has the power to.
I don't know. There's a whole thing there.
There is a whole thing there, but
Not related to the movie, and we'll drop it there.
yeah, we're going into the movie. So Monster House is a 2006 children's horror film directed by Gil Kenan. Now, Gil
It
Kenan.
stars. Okay, you wanna go there first? Okay.
No, I just want to real quick. Gil Kenan hasn't directed many films. The only notable one is he did the 2015 reboot of Poltergeist, which was a very bad movie.
It stars Mitchell Musso from Hannah Montana as DJ, the main character. Uh, Sam Lerner as Chowder, a character I forgot existed until I read this cast list.
He's in the poster.
He's in most of the movie. I just completely forgot this character existed. And Spencer Locke is Jenny. I'll add most importantly, Steve Buscemi, our antagonist, who plays himself. He is what I imagine, and Nevercracker is who I imagine Steve Buscemi is like for real.
Don't forget that Jason Lee is Bones.
All right, you're right. He is Bones. And Kevin James is the cop. An all-star cast we have for this one.
Nick Cannon is the other cop. Like, oh my god, what a great cast we have. Now, like I said before, until I was like maybe 11, this was my favorite movie of all time. I watched it every single day. I watched it every single day. And
That's interesting.
I just watch it every year now. I watch it every Halloween.
That's still more times than I could say I've seen it, which I've seen once. And I don't think I'll be watching again, if I'm being perfectly honest.
That's fine. I don't care. Now,
Since we're on that topic, you wanna give our review, our score?
we're very giggly this episode. Um
Yeah, it's one of those. It's gonna be one of those episodes.
It's gonna be one of those ones where we just this is by the way this is this is our third Spooktober episode, so yeah, this counts as a spooky movie.
It's Spooktober, and we're giggling like idiots. So that goes to show how scary this movie is.
Let's see,
It's
for
it's
Spooktober so far we did a comedy zombie movie, we did not even a horror,
Hannibal Hannibal Lecter, just in
a
general
movie
Hannibal
about
Lecter.
a cannibal, and fucking Monster House.
Yep, it's a very spooky October on this
It's
podcast.
a really spooky October. For the last Spooktober episode, maybe we'll actually do something spooky.
I have an idea for something actually spooky, but we're gonna have to talk about that one next time.
Yeah,
Can't give away all our secrets.
you can't give them away, or else Mister Nebercracker's gonna come out and clock you. He's gonna
Who? I
steal.
think you
He's
mean I
oh,
think you
Steve
mean Steve
Buscemi. I'm
Buscemi.
sorry,
I think Steve
Steve
Buscemi's
Buscemi.
gonna clock.
Okay, so I rated this movie. This is my 1 millionth rewatch, but only the second one that's logged on Letterboxd. I rated it a 3.5 out of 5.
What was your childhood review? Your childhood score for
Here,
comparison?
hold on. Let me pull out the kid me. It's really good. It's a 5 out of 5.
Okay, your review, your score is actually like lower than I was expecting it to be. It's kind of close to mine.
What's
I
yours?
gave it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was fine. I enjoyed my time with it. I have no willingness to go back to it though.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I probably would have given it a 4, but this rewatch, I watched it with the intention of that we're gonna talk about it on the podcast. So I watched it. I tried to take off my rose tinted glasses, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. That's the least I'm ever gonna give it.
Yeah, like, I definitely see what people enjoy out of it. I can definitely justify it being a 4. But for me, it's a solid 6 out of 10.
Yeah, so just like tradition, we're going to read the plot synopsis. This one is coming from Letterboxd because I just found it hilarious. So here we go. The house is alive. Monsters under the bed are scary enough, but what happens when an entire house is out to get you? Three teens aim to find out when they go up against a decrepit neighboring home and unlock its frightening secrets. Ooh.
That is actually a pretty accurate representation of what happens in the movie.
Yeah, you can't really I mean you could explain it in 2 sentences. The house is alive. The kids figure out why.
It's a pretty basic story.
Yeah, it's a really basic story, and it's good for kids, and I I will definitely show this to my children and my grandchildren, and they're gonna show them to each other because this movie is fantastic, and I love it, and everyone should love it. And Pat, you're the odd one out.
It's fun. I don't hate it. I give it a 6. A 6 is above average. I enjoyed it.
Give it a 10, or I'm gonna kill you.
I guess that would make it Spooktober if I died.
See, now that's where the real spook comes in, is when you diss Monster House. Last episode, when we talked about Silence of the Lambs, it was pretty obvious that I particularly did not have a lot to say, which is why we talked about the entire plot for about an hour. So we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to just blurt out the plot. We're going to skim through it like what we did with Suicide Squad, and then for some reason we just got the habit of saying the plot. But we're just going to skim through it. So we're not going to be like, the movie opens with a girl on a tricycle and she's going through, and then there's Mr. Nebercrack. No, we're not gonna do that.
That is how the movie opens, by the way. Just if you were curious.
Yeah, if you were curious, that is exactly how the movie opens. Now, one thing I did want to see, because I don't know who did the music, who was the composer. Douglas Pipes. Okay, because it sounded a lot like John Williams.
That would have been actually like amazing if like John Williams did the score.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other movie Douglas Pipes done the score for that I've seen is Trick or Treat. It's another spooky movie. It's one I watched a lot as a kid because my elementary school would put that every year for Halloween for 6 years. I watched it 6 times as a kid.
He also did Krampus.
Yeah, I see that, but I have not seen that, so I can't comment on the score for that.
I've seen Krampus, and it's hot garbage. He also did the
Good.
Barbie movie.
Good to know.
Anyways, let's get into Monster House. So, just like it said in the plot synopsis, the movie's about three, I think, teenagers. They look 12, but I guess they're
I
teenagers.
think the impression I got was they're like 12, 13. Like they're not teenagers yet, but they're getting to that age.
Yeah.
Because like there's this whole plot point, right, where DJ and Chowder want to go trick or treating, but DJ's against it because they're getting too old. And then like you have their teenager babysitter, who's like the point of like maturity comparison for DJ, I guess, at that point of the movie, before it becomes about the house anyway.
Yeah.
So like the impression I got was that they were young teens or like 12.
So you got DJ, which is Mitchell Musso from Hannah Montana. And then you got Chowder, Sam Lerner from, well, the only thing I know him from is the Goldbergs. And then you got Spencer Locke, from the Resident Evil movies. So yeah, great cast.
And Insidious.
Oh yeah, and
The
Insidious.
last key, the last one, I think, or like the latest one.
Insidious, the last key. So that's it's DJ, Chowder, and Jenny, respectively. Jenny doesn't come in until like maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes in.
Yeah, I didn't see that character coming.
You
Like
didn't?
I no, I saw, I thought it was gonna be the two boys and Z, the babysitter. I thought they were gonna be the main cast. I wasn't expecting Z to be, I'm gonna say, killed off. That's not exactly what happens.
No,
Like,
nothing happened to Z.
yeah, she's written out of the story
Yeah.
until the end. But I thought she was gonna be like the third member of this trio. Keep in mind, I had not seen this movie ever, and I haven't even seen the poster until like right now. So I did not expect Z to not been more relevant in the story, but especially with the whole bringing up the age thing, that was like a thing at the beginning of the movie. I thought Z would have been around more, so there was that constant comparison.
Right.
Like, oh, DJ wants to grow up, and here's this teenager that he's, I don't want to say looking up to, but like comparing himself to. But Z's like completely removed, and we have Jenny as of, yeah, about 20 or 30 minutes in.
Yeah, Jenny doesn't know DJ and Chowder. DJ and Chowder have been friends for a very long time, but Jenny just comes in. She's from a different school, and she's like selling cookies or whatever, and then she gets roped into all this. They become fast friends, and then her and DJ kiss at the end, which was a bit
Yeah,
weird, honestly.
there's a kind of weird romantic subplot. Like, I guess it's kind of normal for kids. Like, Chowder sees her and then immediately is like, "Oh, I love this girl."
Yeah, and then they try to call dibs on her, and then they
Yeah,
like there's this game of tug of war that's being played.
yeah, it's a
And
pretty
there's a
like,
literal game of tug of war that's being played with her when she first like interacts with the house.
it's pretty standard like kids romantic subplots, but like, I don't know, it was kind of weird.
But
I don't think it was super necessary, but though that's it doesn't eat up as much of the runtime as you think, so it's fine.
the
It's used
scene,
mostly for jokes.
yeah, but the scene where she kisses DJ, I don't know if you noticed this, but well, I'm gonna be saying this a lot. I'm gonna be saying that a lot in this episode. I don't know if you noticed this.
Saying that a lot, and I'm gonna be saying I did not notice that a lot, probably,
uh,
because I was not paying super attention while watching this.
after she kissed DJ and DJ starts like walking on the crane, she like wipes her lips and she gets like kind of disgusted.
Oh, kids.
Oh, those children spreading cooties. I haven't used that word since I was 6.
I just want to, like, I've been looking at like images for the movie just so I had things to like recall my memory,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been seeing a lot of pictures of like petition for Monster House live action remake. Am I seriously the only person who's never seen this movie? Why, like, it's so popular.
I'm pretty sure you are. This was like this. I think this was the highest grossing animated movie in 2006.
Interesting.
And
So I just didn't-
you know what other animated movie came out that year? It was Over the Hedge, Happy Feet, which won best animated picture, which was not deserved. Cars came out that year, and Casino Royale. That's not animated, but just want to throw that in. Also, The Devil Wears Prada.
That's also not animated.
Yeah, but no, now I'm not talking about animated anymore. Also,
Okay,
The
just movies.
Prestige and
Yeah, but I don't
and
think
The
there's much
Departed.
overlap. I don't think there's much overlap between people who watched Monster House and people who watched The Departed.
Also Borat came out that year. That's funny.
But
But
there's definitely no overlap between the people who watch Borat and the people who watch Monster House.
just saying, just the fact that this was the highest grossing animated movie that year, up against Cars, Happy Feet, and Over the Hedge. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing considering how ugly this movie is. Oh, are you guys ready for that take? I don't think so.
All right, let's start talking about the animation. Yeah, so
This movie's fuck ugly.
it didn't hold up.
Every time I look at Chowder, I kind of want to throw up in my mouth a little bit.
I think that the best examples of the animation in this movie is the house.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the house is animated very well. It's very cool to look at.
that was my favorite thing in this movie. Just when the house like when the house like breaks and transforms, and then like the carpets, the tongue, and the
The,
chandeliers, the uvula.
the chase scene at the end too, like it's animated very well, but
Yeah.
the humans all look just off. I find like they don't look super well.
Yeah, that's just the
Uh,
thing with early 2000s animation, isn't it?
yep.
Like humans just look terrible. You know, all the characters they look really weird. The animation's super stiff. The hair looks like clay. It just looks like
Yeah.
clay. And there's one scene where like someone gets their hair ruffled and like it doesn't look right. It looks like stop motion, which would have been kind of cool if this movie was stop motion.
It would have been, but it's not.
It's not. But the house though, like are
And
you
like
like oh my god, I love this. I love the house. Like
the house is the star of the show, so
yeah.
like I guess it makes sense for that to look the best. And
Yeah.
it definitely sells itself as a
The
premise, how it's designed. But I don't know, the humans just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It felt like I was watching an older, and I get it, it's from 2006, so I shouldn't hold it up to
yeah,
modern standards.
it's also from some
Not
like
Disney or Pixar or
it
yeah, it's
it
from a smaller studio.
it's from
So
the same studio that did Mars Needs Moms, so you
and
know.
that movie that movie sucks too.
Yeah, that movie
Well, this
sucks. But
that
it's
one
also the
sucks.
same studio that did Castaway, so who knows? And The Polar Express, which is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, but like I don't know, especially like just like looking at the movies you listed, like Happy Feet and Cars. This movie kind of falls short in the animation department, but I guess it also speaks for like it winning despite that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it
I guess
is
people
really
love
cool.
this movie.
Just I want to keep talking about the house real quick. Just the little like just the animations on the house. My favorite one is when the house like comes alive. Like now like when the house starts moving around. The I think it's brick or whatever, the roofing it like comes up a bit so it looks like spikes, you know? And then the blinds are the eyebrows so they can make it look angry or sad. And the mouth is not just the door; it's the whole front patio because the beams split and they point out really in this really sharp wood. It looks so good.
The house is like really expressive for like what it is. They did such a great job.
Yeah. Now, why is the house alive? Good question. We're about to spoil the whole movie, so get out of here. You probably
Yeah,
shouldn't. Yeah,
I guess
probably.
before we talk about like how we feel about the characters, let's get the last character out of the way. Because the house is not just a spooky ghost. The house is haunted by an established character in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Buscemi's wife haunts the house.
He's still just calling him Steve Buscemi.
I'm gonna call him Steve Buscemi.
For the record,
Um,
his character's
the
name is
character,
Mr. Nebercracker. We haven't said that yet.
yeah, and the house spirit's name is Constantine, right?
Constance.
Constance.
Yeah.
I was so close, and I'm gonna call her Constantine for the rest of the episode.
No, we're gonna have another
And
whatever
you're
Claire
gonna
and
do it.
Clary situation.
You're gonna do it too now.
No.
But
Shit.
yeah, so the house is haunted by Constance, and it's a pretty big deal. So we might as well spoil that now before we get into talking about the characters,
Hmm.
because she does play a pretty big role in Steve Buscemi's arc.
Yeah. So like she was a circus act. She was like a giantess. She's really
Yeah,
big. She's really big. I guess that's the best way to put it.
yeah, and like her act was just being laughed at because of her size, and so she meets Steve Buscemi at the circus. It's like a member of the audience, and he just falls in love with her, love at first sight, and he wants to give her a chance to live her life without ridicule. So they well, he kidnaps her basically. He steals this woman, and and they go live their life together.
Yeah, they start building a house, and then it's like Halloween, and the kids are like throwing eggs or whatever because it's Halloween. Constance hates kids.
Yeah,
That's
Constance
a
hates kids.
big plot point.
It's not really explained why, but I guess just
Yeah,
People laugh at her all the time, and you can imagine kids go to the circus a lot, so put two and two together.
Yeah, it's probably
That's
that.
why she hates kids. And they are making fun of her too while they're throwing the eggs, so it doesn't help like her situation.
Yeah. And then she
Yeah, so
trips.
she trips and falls into
Yeah.
cement. It's very funny.
It is pretty
And
funny.
then he builds the house over her corpse anyway.
And then her corpse haunts the house, and every time there's a kid on the front lawn, she eats him. It eats the kids.
Yep, that's the whole story. That's literally the entire story.
And she doesn't just control the house; she controls uh,
Like
the whole
the
plot
grass
of
in front of
land.
her.
She controls the cement that's on the pathway. She controls the grass, the trees.
In the alternative horror cut of the movie, she just grows a gigantic tree, and then the tree has like branches that extend into other people's land, and then she kills everybody. And that's the horror version of this movie. If she can
That would
do
have been
that,
cool to see.
that's the adult M-rated live action adaptation. That's what they're gonna do.
No, the adult M-rated version is as soon as the kids walked up on the front porch, they died instantly. Movie over. Monster House. uh,
Yeah, there's this like cute shot at the beginning of the movie where like it's when Steve Buscemi dies, but like they think he's dead, like he has a heart attack or something, and he's being taken away by the ambulance. And like Constance with like the grass tries to grab him, like to keep him because
yeah,
she doesn't
just
want
tries to grab him.
to.
And then from that moment, the chimney on the house lights up, and it's gonna stay on the whole movie. So the kids figure out that the chimney is the heart, and to kill the house somehow, that's in quotations, to kill the house, they have to put out the fire in the chimney, or just strike at the heart, as it's what the guy at the arcade, what's his name? That not see that this I forgot.
Dude, bro, I don't remember his name.
Well, I don't know, but a meme
Was it?
has surfaced from him recently when he just grabs the chocolate and eats it and runs away. Like, do you know what meme I'm talking about?
I don't. You're gonna have to show me that after the episode. But yeah, and the thing about this movie that I just missed because I'm not cool.
Oh my god. You know, I'm just gonna show you now. I'm just gonna cut the footage here. I'm just gonna show you now.
Oh, you gotta keep it in because like for comedy, you gotta keep it in. Oh, it's a video. Okay,
Yeah,
you
it's a
sure?
video.
You know what? You know what? Keep this in. It's fine. You get to hear my live reaction to
But
this meme.
keep this okay.
Yeah, keep this in. You get to hear my live reaction to this meme that they can't see. It's perfect.
Monster House. Uh,
But this is behind the scenes, quote unquote, podcast.
this right here, this.
What the fuck is that? Okay,
That's a meme now.
I see. Interesting.
I've seen a few memes of that.
That's okay. Sure.
Oh my god, a scene recreation. Okay. I guess that's staying in because Pat said to keep
Yeah,
it
it
in.
has to stay in now. You gotta keep it in.
If anyone wants to know what we're talking about, it's at the very end of the arcade scene. Yeah, that guy at the arcade, he tells him like you have to strike at the source of life, the heart. That's where they get the idea of killing the house by blowing up the heart. That's the only scene of that character, by the way.
He's there at the end too.
Oh yeah,
He's
he is.
kind of like he meets Z, and like
Yeah,
that's
he's
it.
in the after credit scene.
The sequel bait. The Z cut.
Oh my god. Anyways.
Yeah. So do you want to get into the characters now, since we basically went over the story? Like the
Well,
kids have.
I guess we'll just say like at the end the house like uses trees as arms and walks around the whole city and somehow nobody sees this.
Nobody sees this, but that was really cool though.
It's the coolest scene in the whole movie. Like my favorite parts of the movie are when they're inside the house, but like the coolest scene is definitely when like that at the end. And then they go to the to a construction area. There's like a big pit or whatever where they're building something. And then DJ climbs the crane. That's where the awkward kiss scene happens. Throws dynamite down the chimney of the house, and it blows up. And Constance comes up as like a figure. Why can't I think of the ghost? Why couldn't I think of that word?
A spooky ghost.
She comes out as a spooky ghost, and she dances with Steve Buscemi for a bit, and then floats away. That's the end of Steve's arc. Yeah, I'm just gonna call him.
I've done it. He's Steve Buscemi now.
That's the end of Steve Buscemi's arc. He let go of Constance, and at the end, they all the toys that Constance, because whenever a toy landed on the front on the lawn, Constance took it. So they just return all the toys, and how the fuck do they know whose toys belongs to who?
They don't. A bunch of kids just said that was mine, and
Yeah,
Steve Buscemi gave it to them.
except for the trike with the girl at the beginning of the movie. They're like, "Oh, that's hers. That's her trike." All right, let's get into the characters.
So we'll start with the main character, DJ, played by Mitchell Musso, as we've said. What did you think
From
of
Hannah
DJ?
Montana? You have to say
From
that.
Hannah Montana and nothing else.
You have to say that.
Who else does he play? I don't even know. I don't remember him being in anything else.
According to Letterboxd, he's in the two Phineas and Ferb movies, so he must play a major character.
Look up
Uh,
the cast for
he
Phineas and
plays
Ferb.
Jeremy. I don't know who that is. Oh, he's in.
Oh,
the...
he's Candace's crush in Phineas and Ferb. Okay.
Right.
So he's in the show as well, or like whatever. And then he's in I like how you clicked on the Sweet Life Hannah Montana crossover on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. First season back.
Yeah, I'm sure he's mostly a television actor, so he's not going to be on Letterboxd. You're gonna have to look on IMDb. I think that the casting's all right in this movie. I think.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't dislike any of the characters. I think they all sell the characters pretty well.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that it's Mitchell Musso. I just find it. I don't know why.
From Hannah Montana.
It's just funny to me that it's Mitchell Musso from Hannah Montana.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. It's such a random casting. I don't know. Well, maybe it's because Hannah Montana was popular at that time.
He also probably wasn't too expensive to get.
Yeah,
So.
they just needed a teenager.
Yeah. So DJ is the main character. His story arc, I guess, if you call it that, is him trying to like decide if he wants to be a kid, like continue being a kid or grow up. Like, should he grow up too fast? You know, that's the golden question.
Yeah.
Is he growing up too fast, or can he still enjoy being a kid? And he's also stalking Steve Buscemi pretty aggressively. Like it's a bit of a problem. But
yeah, because he lives right across the street from the house, the monster house, if you will.
Yeah, he has his little story arc. It doesn't really get resolved. Like by the end of the movie, DJ as a character doesn't really change. He just kind of solves the mystery, and that's it.
Yeah, he doesn't have.
Well, he does. He does decide to go trick or treating because that was a thing at the beginning of the movie. Well, like he won't go trick or treating with his best friend because they're too old for it. Yeah. At the end of the movie, they go. So I guess there's your resolution. That like he found balance, but it's not really addressed. I don't think it really goes anywhere. It's kind of just there.
Yeah, I don't know if we should really be like talking about arcs because there's not a lot in this. The characters are just the character. The only two characters that have arcs is Mr. Nevercracker and Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny's whole shtick is she's like a snooty prep kid, and
yeah, and then she
meets these two losers, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, she meets two epic gamer losers who pee in bottles and watch an old guy's house through a telescope. But then near the end, she warms up to them. I mean, we mentioned this like 6 fucking times, but she kisses DJ.
Yeah, and it's like the One of Us moment where like she can be friends with losers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie doesn't really have character arcs that drive the story forward. It's kind of just their actions that do, which is fine.
It's the movie is like, well, it's the house. Like the house is the anchor in this movie. Once the house is gone, at the end there's not really anything to resolve.
Yeah, it's just weird to me because it feels like they were trying to set something up. Like I said, I thought Z was gonna be more relevant. Especially like Z's like the older figure in the movie, and she has this a sex offender boyfriend.
Yeah, there's Bones, played by Jason Lee.
Yeah, and I thought they were gonna do something at all with that. Doesn't necessarily have to be interesting, but like something with it, and they don't really do anything with it. I thought maybe like DJ would have looked towards like Bones as the older dude who like he should be someone to model himself after. And then over the course of the movie, he learns that Bones is kind of a stinky shithead, and he should not worry about growing up too fast because he's still a kid. But none of that happens. I was overthinking this movie. This is literally just about the house.
Yeah, it's just about the like if you want Bones's arc, not Bones's arc, but Z's like just tiniest arc, she ends up with the guy from the arcade in the end.
She realizes that her Bones is a stupid shithead, and she doesn't go back to him.
Yeah, and she goes with another stupid shithead.
Yeah, but that's not relevant. That doesn't. It's not really relevant at all to the story or the
Not at
other
all.
characters. It's just. I think it's there just as a joke, really.
Yeah.
But like Bones is definitely not a good dude.
If Jason Lee, that name sounds familiar, he's Syndrome in The Incredibles.
Okay, the best villain.
Yes. I love Syndrome. He's really good. We should do an episode on The Incredibles.
We could, except we're not going to talk about the second one because that one sucks.
Yeah, that one does suck. Let's move on to the next character. So I mean that was DJ. We've like he pees in bottles. Now we're getting to Chowder now. He also pees in bottles.
And Chowder is like the emotional anchor. Like he's the one who wants DJ to continue being a kid and not like grow up. And like look at all these fun things we used to do as kids. We can still do them. Blah blah blah. But like I said, that whole plot point doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, not
And if
really.
you remove that, Chowder is really just a comic relief character. He doesn't do much in terms of story progression. He's just there to make jokes and be funny, which is fine. I think as like the generic best friend character, he does a good job.
Yeah, he's just that best friend character.
I don't have much else to say about him because of that though. Like he's there.
I guess all we have to say about Chowder is he's a kid who really likes pretzel sandwiches.
He's a Chowder head.
He is a Chowder, like the TV show Chowder, which has nothing to do with this character at all.
But he's like Chowder the food, which also has nothing to do
Yes.
with his character.
Now let's move on to Jenny. So Jenny's the most fleshed out character here of the three kids. Like she's the one with
And like
the
fleshed out is kind of said like lightly.
yeah. She's the only one that has an arc.
She learns to accept the people she thinks are beneath them, and that's the story.
I love that at the beginning of the movie she's just a straight up capitalist. Like
Yeah, just like takes advantage of fucking Z, and she's like really smart and really like mischievous, and that doesn't like never comes up.
and then near the end she says, "Well, I guess I can pee in bottles too."
I could be a sellout and pee in bottles. That's the lesson. It's
Kids, if there's any lesson to learn from this movie, don't sell chocolates to an old guy because then he'll die and then the house is going to try to eat you. That's the lesson to learn from today.
yeah, that's the lesson. But yeah, like I don't know how to have anything else to say. Like her about Jenny. Like these characters don't add much to the story. They participate in it.
Yeah, really
That's
really
basically
really if we want to like speak technically, if we want to get really if we want to get critical about this, the house is the main character.
House is the main character.
Yeah.
The only characters who really do anything of note are DJ, Steve Buscemi, and the house. Every other character just kind of exists in my like I don't know. They do nothing for me.
Yeah. Let's talk about that house because the house is the character, Constance. Because we talked about the main threes, we're gonna talk about the house now, and then we're gonna get to Steve Buscemi. The house, it's I really like the design of like the inside and the outside. I love the inside because it really is just the human anatomy. Like it's the tongue, is the carpet. It's got a mouth. It's got a throat. It has two ways down to the stomach. It has the air pipe, and it has the throat where it swallows food, just like humans do. And the air pipe is the back room just to go downstairs. The brain is at the top. You got the uvula. So it's a girl house.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. The house is really like intelligently put together. It was actually like really refreshing to watch. Like, and like it gets arms and legs kind of later, and like it's just it feels like and it's designed like a human.
It even has a
You
gag
know, it
reflex,
yeah, and like it emotes like a human, and it reacts like a human, and it tries to eat children
like Hannibal Lecter.
like Hannibal Lecter. Yeah, like I like the house. I think it was very interesting. Like for a movie called Monster House, I was impressed by the house.
I wonder what the most fleshed out thing about the movie is going to be. So there's the house. Oh, I guess we should talk about the a part of the movie where they find Constance's dead body in the basement. So this is the scary scene, the one that's supposed to scare the kids. I got scared from this scene first time I saw it, but then I was like, oh, I mean, I was a kid when I saw it for the first time. I was probably 6 when I saw this. Actually, you know what? Hold on, I was 4 when this movie came out.
Yeah, I was 25 years old, and I was looking at my phone, and I was not phased.
So yeah, there's
Uh,
this scene where they go to the basement, because DJ finds a key near the beginning of the movie, and the key goes to a lock downstairs. He opens the door, and there's Constance's dead body there. Well, not well, dead body. Her skeleton encased in cement from when she fell in that hilarious scene from that we talked about earlier. Like he trips and falls, and he comes face to face with the cement, and it all crumbles down, and the house starts shaking, and then the house starts trying to kill the kids. That's like supposed to be the scene to catch the kids off guard, to scare them, you know. Definitely scared me when I was a kid, and seeing from other people's experience with this movie, that is the scariest part of the movie. But it's not scary, like not even a little bit. It like Letterboxd doesn't even put it in. Letterboxd doesn't even consider it a horror.
it's listed as a on Google. It's listed as a horror fantasy. I don't consider anything about this movie scary, but like I guess it's like for kids, it's kind of spooky, I guess. But I
I
mean, the
could,
idea of like the house, definitely like if it was a live action movie and if it was directed by like a horror director, they would definitely make this like it definitely like has horror themes,
yeah,
and you could definitely make a horror movie out of this concept. But this is also clearly a kids movie,
yeah.
so they couldn't go
I
all
guess
the way
some
with it.
people could call it a parody too, because it's got elements of other horror movies in there. But
But obviously like super toned down. But yeah.
yeah, it's really just it's a kids Halloween movie. It's a Halloween movie. That's what it is.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. It's a Halloween movie, not a horror movie.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Perfect for Spooktober.
Yep.
Um,
That's two in a row now.
whoa.
Oh, three in a row if you want to consider. I mean, Shaun of the Dead's not a horror movie. It's definitely a spooky movie, but not horror.
Well, we that
And
was the
same.
first Spooktober episode.
Yeah, we're doing great.
We're doing
It's
fabulous.
yeah, it's okay, guys, because the idea, because okay, we've said this several times throughout the course of our October episodes, but Lib and I aren't horror movie people.
Yeah, the idea is spooky movies, not scary movies.
But I have an actual horror movie in mind at least for the next episode.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna watch it by myself.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, so Steve Buscemi.
I love him.
He's a character in this movie. Steve Buscemi, he plays himself.
He does.
Steve Buscemi plays Mr. Nebercracker, and we're not gonna call him Mr. Nebercracker. We're gonna call him Steve Buscemi, like we've been doing the whole time. He's he's the like we all know that that one neighbor that's like get off my lawn. That's him. That's him. Well, at the beginning at least, because then DJ gives him a heart attack, and then he dies, quote unquote. He has a heart attack. He had a heart attack. That's what happened. But he comes back with a a cloth around his arm. Was his arm injured? Like okay, whatever.
I guess they needed something to like signify that he was at the hospital.
What, the gown wasn't enough?
No, his arm was broken too, dude.
And this is great foreshadowing in a flashback when the house was done being built. He had explosives on the table, and then when Chowder walked into the house for the first time, he noticed that there were explosives near the front door, and that's ultimately how they destroy the house. They throw dynamite down the chimney. So there's a cool bit of foreshadowing there. A little bit of little bit of stuff that you'd see in a professionally made movie.
Who would have thought that a theatrically released movie would have movie things in it?
Who would have thought it? Who would have thunk it?
Chekhov's gun. That's wild.
That's fucking crazy, man. Did you know it's not always a gun? Eh.
I didn't. Now I know. Dynamite.
This episode's so stupid.
It fits the movie. It's a dumb time.
We're so giggly.
Very fitting for Spooktober. Am I right? We're giggling like idiots.
Am I right or am I right? I mean, come on, guys. This is the best Spooktober you've ever spooked.
I'll just wait till we talk about the news, because it's gonna be even less spooky.
Yeah, and then wait until we go into backlogged, because then it's gonna be the least spooky it's ever been.
That's gonna be terrifying for different reasons. I have nothing else to really say about this movie.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest. I mean,
I enjoyed it. I think we went over the characters, we went over what we liked. I went over a couple things I didn't. Yeah, I think it's a good time for the kids. I would recommend it to young children.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be watching it again, but it was a fun time.
Well, I'm gonna be watching it next Halloween because I watch it every Halloween. I might watch it this year again. So, yeah.
Nice.
I love this. I love this movie. If I was a kid, I'd say it's my favorite movie of all time. But now my favorite movie of all time is Rogue One, which is still a controversial pick. I guess I'm it's just L's all around, isn't it? Just L's all around. Fun fact, this movie was supposed to have a sequel, but then something happened with the director and they couldn't get all the cast because the cast ended up doing other things like Hannah Montana. So
I think Hannah Montana might predate this, but don't quote me.
I have no idea. It said the Hannah Montana movie was in 2009 and it's 2006, so I don't know. With the show, I'm not sure. But yeah, pretty much all of the Oh my god, we didn't talk about the cops.
The cops exist, I guess. I have nothing to say
The
about
cops
them.
exist. It's Kevin James and Nick Cannon, and they're hilarious, and they're the best characters in the movie. All right, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay,
so, would you like to move on to backlogged part 1?
Oh wait, before we do, because I need to finish what I was saying before.
Go ahead.
Most of the cast in this movie ended up doing TV, not movies. So you could probably catch them on shows nowadays if you look hard enough. They're probably all character actors. So keep an eye out for Sam Lerner, everybody.
I don't think Mitchell Musso acts anymore. Don't quote me though.
I don't think he acts either.
I think he peaked with Hannah Montana.
What are you saying? You mean he peaked at Monster House?
Sure. That's what I'm saying.
Another fun fact, when I was in 3rd grade, we had to do a project about our favorite movie, and I picked this movie, obviously, and I had literally nothing to say.
Well, if you ever go back in time and you have time travel, you could show them this podcast. Except you shouldn't, because we said fuck a couple times, and it's not appropriate.
Yeah, we said the fuck word. We shouldn't fucking show this to a fucking kid, you know? All right.
This is a really stupid episode.
You know what? Let's just go into the kitchen, open the oven, and see what's hot off the presses.
Sure, I like that. I like that segment. That segue is pretty good.
Big news this week. DC Fandom happened. Lots of stuff were revealed.
Lots of stuff was revealed. I think I'm the only one of us who actually watched it.
I I
You
went
were
afterwards and
you were a
watched.
smart person and watched the trailers you cared about. I
Yeah,
was an idiot and I watched the actual entire event, and I have to say, aside from the Batman trailer, DC fandom was pretty bad. Like as an event, it was really boring. I think they spent way too much time on certain things and not enough time on others. It
hmm
was really long and dull, and I was not impressed. But with that said, we did get either new footage or brand new trailers for stuff like Peacekeeper, the upcoming Suicide Squad spin-off series starring John Cena. We
right.
got new footage of the Flash movie, the Flashpoint live action movie, and we got a little tease of Michael Keaton's Batman. We got footage of Shazam 2 and Aquaman 2. It's Aquaman 2, right? Yes, it's Aquaman 2.
Yep. We got
Some game trailers that we're not going to talk about because this isn't a video game podcast.
yep.
We got The Rock's Bizarre Adventure in Black Adam. We got some footage for that.
Season 3 of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, season 3 of Harley Quinn, season 3 or 4, I don't remember, of Titans.
Uh,
Lots of stuff there if you're a DC fan.
there's something about
Smallville,
Injustice.
yeah, the Injustice movie that leaked.
Yep.
It's coming out today or yesterday, but it leaked early. It
Uh,
wasn't good. I'll talk about that more
did you
in our
watch
what we
it?
watched in our. I did watch it. We'll talk about it more in our what we watched in October video.
Nice.
But I did watch it when it leaked because I thought it was officially out, and it was not. I found out it leaked during DC fandom. Because I'm like, wait, why are they showing this? This movie's been out for like a week and a half, and then I
You
checked, like,
didn't
oh wait,
log it on Letterboxd.
I did log it. It's there.
Where the fuck is it?
I watched it before I watched Airplane.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
You want to read my review of Injustice? You can read it yourself.
Okay, let
Read it
me.
out loud. It's very short and to the point.
Hold on, wait, I have to see.
I think I see it. I think I see it. It's the
Yeah,
first.
here it is. This movie doesn't understand why the original story works, both with content and its structure, an insult, really. Well, you know, I've played the Injustice game.
I've played the game. I have read the comics. Injustice is definitely a movie that exists.
Great. Good.
But yeah. Anyway, we got a official release trailer for that movie that leaked a week before, and the big one, the Batman, got a trailer.
See that's the one we're gonna focus on.
I am very excited.
I've I've got a bit of a problem with Robert Pattinson. I don't know how well he's gonna fit into the role. That being said, I've never seen a Batman movie, so I don't know.
Well then, I have recommendations for you.
I'm sure you do. I was planning on watching the Christopher Nolan trilogy this month, but I ended up watching James Bond instead. So
I very much recommend the Christopher Nolan trilogy.
I'm probably going to watch the Christopher Nolan trilogy. He's my second favorite director, and I haven't seen the Batman movies.
Rises is a little controversial-ish, but like the Batman Begins and The Dark Knight are fantastic.
You know what's fantastic?
The Batman trailer, yes.
Yes. Oh,
It is
well,
a
you know,
fantastic trailer.
I was going to say I was gonna say Interstellar and Inception, but yeah.
You know what's fantastic? Wait, what's fantastic Christopher Nolan thing? The Batman trailer that he has no involvement in. But yeah, I think I'll save the Batman talk for another time because I have a lot to say and I don't want to drag this segment out for too long. But I'm very excited. Unlike Lib, I am looking forward to seeing Robert Pattinson in the role. I think he's great in movies like Good Time, and I think he could handle Good Time in the Lighthouse. And I think he could handle playing this younger, angrier version of the character well. His voice does come off as a little angsty, little kiddie sometimes, especially like in that scene in the trailer where he bashes on the window interrogating the Riddler. It does come off like I would probably have laughed in the theater,
Yeah.
but I think he is gonna do a great job, and I'm very excited for this movie. I'll save my rest of my opinions on this trailer and the full movie at some other point.
Yeah, we're not probably we're definitely doing an episode on this because Pat is fanboying on it.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do this movie whenever it comes out. Assuming it doesn't get delayed, it'll be next year. but I'll probably talk about it more if we cover other Batman movies. I'm sure we'll definitely cover the Nolan trilogy, or at least like some of them at some point. But yeah, we'll talk about Batman when we talk about Batman.
Yeah, according to Letterboxd, it's apparently the most anticipated movie of 2022 according to a poll that was held on Letterboxd. So, yeah.
It's my most anticipated movie, at least at the moment.
Speaking of movies leaking, Dune leaked.
Dune leaked. Dune leaked. I have not watched it because I want to
uh
go see it first.
I have watched it cuz I'm not going to be able to see it in theaters. Um
What did you, brief opinions on Dune?
uh, the book was better.
Well, obviously,
So the movie, I thought the movie was gonna be about the whole book, but it's only the first part.
it's part one. Yeah.
Um, the casting's fine. The CG is amazing. It look, I think last episode when we talked about how the Oscars are gonna happen in 6 months, we were saying how Dune is probably going to get nominated for best visual effects. It's winning 100. It is going to win. There's no question.
Okay, I'll have more to say, I guess, after I see it. I might go see it this weekend. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh,
I have midterms coming up, so we'll see if I have time. But
I forgot to log it on Letterboxd, so I'm gonna log it right now. You're gonna get a live logging. Hold
while
on.
while you do that, we could talk about another leak that happened today at the time of recording. And we actually just watched this leak thing right before we started recording as well. But a part of the Uncharted movie trailer leaked today. It looks fine, and I think by the time we record the next episode, we'll probably have the HD trailer and we'll have more to say.
I don't know if we ever talked about the Uncharted movie on the podcast, but
We have not. We have not talked about it.
okay, so I love Uncharted. Again, we're not a video game podcast, but this one's fine to talk about because there's a movie for it now. I love Uncharted. I love all 6 games. From the PS Vita ones to the spin-offs. I love all of them. They're all great games. I replay them constantly. So when I heard they were doing a movie, this is probably my most anticipated movie just cuz I know it's going to fucking suck because Tom Holland is playing Nathan Drake and Mark Wahlberg is playing Sully.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg, I think is fine. Ironically enough, I'm not like super pressed about him. There are definitely better choices. But Tom Holland, as much as I love my Spider-Man, it's just a weird casting choice for me.
Tom Holland is and I thought it was like, okay, maybe he's just playing a younger Drake. And if he's playing a younger Drake, then casting Tom Holland might make sense.
He is playing Anger Drake. He's playing pre Uncharted 1 Drake. Don't let what we saw in the leak trailer that I'm not going to talk about because it's a leak, and we'll talk about it more when the HD version actually releases. But don't let what was shown in the trailer fool you. This is younger Drake. It is supposed to take place before Uncharted 1.
Okay. But does
It's
it take
still
but does it take place before Golden Abyss?
I cannot tell you.
Because there's a casting for Chloe and Nate doesn't meet Chloe until Uncharted 2.
Interesting.
There's no casting for Elena yet, which means it can be before Uncharted 1, but Chloe can't be there if Elena's not, because Elena's the one who introduces Chloe to Nate.
We'll find out next year.
Yeah, we'll find out either when the trailer drops or next year when it comes out. I'm definitely watching it day one. I'm kind of hoping that it's not bad, but
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm not an Uncharted guy, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's just hard for me to watch Tom Holland in movies playing an American character and him not being Spider-Man. Like when I watched him in The Devil All the Time, I was able to like differentiate him from Peter Parker because he does a different voice and he plays a very different character. But like from like the 30 seconds of this leak trailer, he's playing Peter Parker. He's playing Spider-Man without the suit,
yeah,
and
pretty much.
that's just where my mind goes. So I'll have to see more of it. I'll have to see the full trailer or the movie before I could comment more. But we'll have more to say next week, I guess. Maybe, assuming it releases like soon.
Well,
I'm expecting it like tomorrow, if I'm being perfectly honest. But we'll
probably,
see.
yeah. Remember when Disney was like, "Yeah, no, we're gonna all the release dates for the MCU movies, they're not changing. Those are the release dates. That's what we're aiming for. They're probably not gonna change." They changed.
All of them, all of them except No Way Home. So all the 2022 releases have all been delayed.
Yeah, every 2022 MCU movie. I don't know if this extends to the Sony movies. But the MCU movies are all delayed. So, that would be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That'd be Thor: Love and Thunder.
The Marvels.
The Marvels.
There's a couple others. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Two.
No wait, that's 2023, I think.
No, that I remember seeing that on the list. I think that's also being delayed.
Um, now I don't know. Does this extend to the Sony ones? I don't know because Into the Spider-Verse, the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse is supposed to come out in 2022, and I just clicked on it on Letterboxd and it says Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it has the name now. The name was officially announced last week. I forgot to put that in the notes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool. I
it's called
didn't know
Spider-Man
that.
Across the Multiverse. It's officially titled. We still don't know much else aside from 90s Spider-Man was cast. The original actor is coming back.
No way.
But
How
aside
how
from
old
that,
is he now? My God.
yeah, he's back.
Everyone's super excited to see Spider-Man 2099 here. I don't know who that is, so yep,
Miguel O'Hara, he's a cool dude.
I'm sure he is.
As far as other things that released, but like officially, Eternals premiered to the press and cast a couple days ago. Marvel is asking that no one talk spoilers. We have both not seen it because we're not press or cast. We have not seen it, but
Maybe
it's
one
coming
day we'll
out.
be considered press.
It'll come out Friday or tomorrow, I think. It comes out this week or next week
Well,
at the
it's
time of
not.
recording.
It's not tomorrow. Isn't it like November 6th or something?
November 5th. Okay, I thought it was
Yeah.
this week for some reason. Okay, well that's next. That's November. Halloween Kills came out last week at the time of recording, and Dune is supposed to come out tomorrow.
Oh
If it
yeah,
had
Dune.
not
Oh
leaked,
yeah, Dune's supposed to come out tomorrow.
had it not leaked, it would be coming out tomorrow at the time of recording. And the last piece of news I have is speaking of more delays, Indiana Jones 5 was delayed by a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the longest non-COVID related movie delay, at least in recent memory,
I think so. Well, Dune got delayed like a few
because of
months. Yeah.
because of COVID. This has nothing to do with COVID.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah. This. Okay. It's
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
non-COVID
Not
reasons.
non-COVID related reasons. This is a year. I think it's the longest delay.
I know exactly why.
It's because they finally realized that Harrison Ford is an 80-year-old man. That's
Ex-
why.
exactly. They realized that this guy shouldn't be in action movies anymore. I should rewatch the Indiana Jones movies, especially Last Crusade. That's my favorite one.
They're good movies, except Crystal Skull.
Yep. Well,
Yeah,
kind of a kind of controversial, but I don't like Temple of Doom.
interesting. Okay,
Mm.
well, that's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
Okay, well we'll end hot off the presses there.
Yeah, because that was a hot take right there.
That was a hot take, and I don't want to humor it.
Maybe it's just because I haven't seen it in a long time.
Probably why,
I'll watch it
or
again
because
and
you
then.
have bad taste.
Okay, well, hold on there. Well, yeah, well, Monster House was one of my favorite movies ever. So.
Exactly. So
Oh, by the way, I don't know if
back,
we mentioned this when you said Halloween Kills is out, but it sucks.
I've heard. I've not watched it yet, but I probably will watch
And
it this
and there's
weekend.
already a sequel coming.
Oh, of course there is.
Yeah, it's called Halloween Ends, coming in 2022.
And I'll
And
be the last one until this series is rebooted again.
yeah, and COVID-19 is apparently a plot point in this movie. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the end of the segment. We're gonna move on to everyone's favorite segment, question mark. Backlog.
All right. Last week I recommended that Pat watch Airplane, and he
A
has.
very spooky movie, by the way.
It's the most terrifying movie in the world, especially if you hate comedy.
So I watched Airplane for the first time. A movie Lib was surprised I hadn't seen,
Very
and
surprised.
after finishing it, surprised I hadn't seen because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I give it a 4 out of 5 on my Letterboxd.
I also gave it a 4 out of 5. I think it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was hilarious. I found myself laughing out loud very often. I love some of the cutaway gags. It was great. I really enjoyed it. The casting was great. The jokes were funny. It was. I don't know why I wasn't expecting a parody movie. And I typically don't like parody movies, but I really enjoyed this one.
It's probably the funniest movie I've ever seen.
It's really funny. It's really funny.
Yeah. You know a movie is funny when it like tops the charts against this movie came out in 1980. That's the same year as The Shining, The Empire Strikes Back, Raging Bull, Friday the 13th. These are movies you got to beat. You know, Superman 2. What other movies came out in 1980? The Elephant Man. That was a pretty good one. I've seen that. So when a comedy beats most of them, it's number 4. When a comedy beats most of them, then shit, man, that's probably a good comedy. My mom loves this movie. Uh, I I have seen the sequel. It's not as funny as the first one. What's your what if you can remember? What's your favorite gag from the movie?
Okay, so it's really stupid, but like the running gag of like Shirley, you can't be serious. And he's like, I am. And don't call me Shirley. I love every fucking time that comes up. I laugh all the time.
What of my
And
I
I
think
love the I take my coffee black. Like I like my man from the child. And like I had mentioned this like several times when we spoke off camera, but like the 5 minute like cutaway gag to just it's just fucking Saturday Night Fever, and it's 5 minutes long. I
Yeah.
was dying of laughter. It was so funny.
Now my favorite gag in the movie. Okay, this movie came out in 1980. Humor was different back then. Um,
It was, yes.
and my favorite gag in the movie is the whole thing with the two black guys and no one knows what they're saying.
Oh, and then the old white lady
Yeah,
comes in and she's
the
like
the
the
old white
translator.
lady
It's
is
so
the
good. It's so good. This movie is so like it's so funny. It's great.
it's
The inflatable autopilot like
yeah,
inflating again
I
is
love
so
the
funny.
inflatable autopilot and like the stewardess has to blow it up.
Or like the stewardess like makes an announcement on the intercom like everyone don't panic. Here's XYZ reason why you shouldn't panic. And the doctor will be like, "Oh, something bad just happened." And she's like, "Okay, panic," and everyone freaks out on the plane. It's such a good movie. I'd recommend this to anybody. It's so
So
funny.
I love when like she's on the intercom and she's like we're gonna make our schedule landing something 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 and then they're like we've had some bumpy it's been a bit bumpy but it's gonna be okay, don't worry guys, so just keep your seatbelts on and just remain calm. By the way, is there a doctor on board by any chance? Everyone starts freaking out.
It's so good.
I love this movie. I urge you to watch the sequel. I'm gonna tell you now, it's not as funny. But you should watch the sequel whenever you can because it's pretty good.
I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
And with that, we come to the end where I recommend you something. Now, last week I said I was going to recommend you some hot garbage because I've been recommending you nothing but bangers. Oops, all bangers,
Mm-hmm.
all cinema.
Yeah.
But I went easy on you this time. What I'm about to recommend you is not complete garbage.
Okay.
In fact, it is a movie I actually enjoy. Ironically, but I enjoy.
Okay.
And it relates to something we talked about off camera. There's
Oh.
a certain superhero I really enjoy
Oh yeah.
called Daredevil.
Oh.
Fantastic Netflix show. Actually, cinema. But that's not what I'm recommending you. I'm recommending you a little 2003 flick called Daredevil, starring Ben Affleck as The man himself.
I
So I
fucking knew
I'm
it.
recommending you Daredevil 2003, but I'm gonna be very specific. I'm recommending the director's cut. If you can find the director's cut, watch that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can find it. If you can't find it, the theatrical release is worse. But
Great.
it'll be fine, I guess. But if you could find the director's cut, I would highly suggest watching the director's cut.
Before we started recording, Pat was like, "I'll give you a hint for the movie I'm recommending you. It's got Ben Affleck in it." And I'm like, "Oh fuck." It could either be one and it's hot garbage. So, could have been one of three movies. I was dreading that it might have been Batman versus Superman
No, I would not do that to you.
or the original
Or
Justice
would
League.
I? Or would I?
Or would you?
But yeah, I'm recommending Daredevil. It has two Evanescent songs. How could you go wrong?
Well, next episode, during the backlog segment, I'm going to talk about Daredevil, I guess.
That you are.
Mark Steven Johnson, what else has he done? Oh, Ghost Rider. Wow, this guy's got a great track record, huh?
He does. And that's the end of the show.
Yeah, well, that's the end of the show. This might be my favorite episode that we've ever done.
This was fun to record. Hopefully, it was just as fun to listen to.
I hope so. Thank you all so much for tuning in for another episode, wherever you are at whatever time you're watching this.
If you want to find out what we'll be doing next week, you could follow us on our socials. We'll be dropping a hint at some point. You can watch along.
Yeah, I usually do that 2 days before the episode comes out, so look out for that hint. Also, just a quick announcement. If you're watching this on Castbox, Stitcher, or Overcast, hello, welcome. You're brand new to us, because we just got approved for those 3 programs. Whoop-de-doo! Pat, we're on 9 platforms now.
That's a lot of places to listen to 2 idiots talk about movies.
Oh, but that doesn't include YouTube. We're on 10 platforms. Yep.
We're on 2 channels on YouTube.
We're on 2 channels on YouTube.
11 places.
Damn, that's a lot of places. So just pick your favorite and listen on. And if you want to recommend us a movie, you could do that. Just go to any of our socials, our featured link, like where there's the website section. Click on that; it'll bring you to our link tree, and at the very top, you'll find a form that you could fill out to recommend us a film or TV show that we are gonna watch, and then we might even do an episode on it.
Only one way to find out. Participate.
Yep. So go ahead and fill out that form. Also on that link tree, you can find our 2 Letterboxd accounts, so you can keep track of what movies we're watching. Maybe you can watch the movies that we watch, and you might find a new favorite. Who knows?
As they like to say around here, oops, all bangers.
As we like to say around here, Shazam.
Up and away. Fly.
Fly. I noticed there was no Spider-Man reference in this episode, so I threw one in.
There it was. And with that, we'll be signing off.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.